we're gonna do something other than crochet, and I'm a little bit nervous. So obviously I crochet a lot. That's kind of like my niche, right? That's what I do literally all the time. But when I'm not crocheting, what I'm probably doing is reading. And because of that, I have fallen into the rabbit hole of like book talk and booktube. So just watching a lot of videos regarding books while I crochet. And because of that, there's an idea we're going to try out. So one like kind of video that I've been watching a lot on YouTube recently is people reading books until they find a 5-star read. If you are unfamiliar with like books and the rating system, because my channel revolves around crafts, pretty much like I don't really know how to explain it other than, you know, you got like 5-star tier, and then when you finish the book you're like, oh, this was a 4-star because of this and this and this, or oh, this was like a 2-star because I hated it and it was terrible, right? And like everyone's rating systems is kind of a little different. But I'm gonna try that today, but not today. This is probably gonna take months. So because I spend most of my time crocheting, I read a lot, but I don't read like a lot. It kind of takes like a back seat, especially in the summer when I'm trying to get more products out because I'm not in school, even though I'm technically still taking classes. It's a whole thing. But I don't know if you can tell by the massive book stack behind me. There's actually 2 stacks. But I have a severe overflow of books right now, like severe. And it got so bad to the point where I put books in my window. And half of my books look like this. So because of this absolute travesty that I have put on my books, and literally almost bawled my eyes out about it, my goal is to read a bunch of these at least in the first 2 weeks of August. So like at least 10, maybe more. More would be great. More would be wonderful. I don't know though, we'll see. But we are going to be reading books until I find a 5-star read. Since I've never filmed like a book related video before, I will let you know that my rating system is kind of weird. I really got into reading earlier this year. That's when I downloaded Goodreads and started like reading 3 books a week. It's kind of tapered off. I read more like 2 books a week now, which is still a lot. I'm not saying that, but I'm not like one of those people who can read a 400-page book in 5 hours. That doesn't work for me. Also, on that note, my rating system is very weird right now. Because when I started, I'm like, oh my god, I love reading. I love every single book that I'm picking up, because I wasn't like used to reading all the time. And now that I've been doing it for like 5 months now, I'm a little bit more harsher. I don't want to say ruder, but I'm a little bit more like, I didn't like this book because of this reason. Or I recently read, what was it called? It was called Mirror Girls. I can't remember who it was by, but it was a cute story, but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. So because of that, I rated it lower and like stuff like that. Like it not that it didn't meet my expectations, but like it wasn't what I wanted to read at that time. Does that make sense? But yeah, reading until 5 stars. I am currently in like a reading lull is what I'm calling it. All the books I've been reading have either been 2 or 3-star books. Because my rating system has gotten a little bit harsher over the past couple months, and I like right now, I don't want to say I'm bored with reading, but I'm like, oh my god, why can't I just read a good book, right? Like I want to read all these books, but they're just not, you know. I'm putting everything aside. This has been the longest intro just because I wanted to give like a baseline for what's going on, but let me show you the first book we're going to read, and we'll see. I think I'm going, so today is August 1st and it's a Tuesday, so I'm hoping to finish this book on Thursday. It's a chunky book. Let me show you. So this is my current read. I literally started it yesterday and I am on page 116, chapter 7. This is the 5th book in the Fablehaven series by Brandon Mull. It is called Fablehaven: Keys to the Demon Prison. This series is like, overall, like as a series so far, it's probably like a 3.5-star series for me. It's not great, but it's not terrible. I picked up the first book in middle school, and I read it in middle school for like a class project. We were assigned to read it. And then I moved away and never finished it. It's like a reoccurring course in my life. I start a book, I move away, and then I don't finish it. But because of that, I was going through the bookstore like a month ago, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember that series, and it was so good. It was good for middle school me. Me now was like, oh my god, why are these books so freaking long? Now, don't get me wrong, I will read 500-page books. This one's actually 600. I will read 600-page books if the plot is good. Now, I'm not gonna say the plot is terrible in these, because I get it. The main plot points are there. Look at the sun bleaching. Sorry, I digress. I get it, right? The main points are there. The overall storyline is there. I love the characters. I love the world. There's not like a ton of there's not like a ton of world building, and like mini spoiler, they kill a lot of people in these, and they don't really like lead up to it with like, you know, a dramatic like fighting scene. They just kind of dead. And I'm like, where's my drama? Where's my young adult fantasy where I need to read 10 pages about how this character is bleeding out? Like, I don't get that. Then again, this is literally in the kids section, so I really should have expected it. I have mixed feelings about this. I think this would be a really good adult series if it was written a little bit more maturely, but then again, this is what I picked to read, so yay me. But anyway, Fablehaven Keys to the Demon Prison. That's what we're reading. Yeah, that's what we're reading today. Hi, okay, so it's the next morning. I intended to update you guys last night when I read like halfway through the book, but someone ended up reading until 3 a.m. So, my apologies. But I did get halfway through, a little bit past halfway through. I read like a chapter and a little bit more than what I intended to, which is like 55% of the way through the book. And I promise I'm not a monster. When I say I read like halfway through a chapter, I stopped at one of like the little page indents, okay? But I was exhausted and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This book is killing me a little bit. Without spoiling anything, this one, like the thing they're trying to accomplish, the main like plot of the book, what am I saying? The main goal they're trying to like, you know, complete in this book, the group of people is like coming up with these elaborate plans, and then they put them into action, and then they just fail. And don't get me wrong, that's fine if that's what you like, but me personally, I'm like, why? Like, I've read books before where like they have a plan set in motion, and then, you know, something happens in the middle and they make something up and then it goes straightly fine. But this one did that, and then it broke off into something else and something else and something else and something else, and I'm like, what is happening? So I'm just like I'm over it at this point. Is this one better than the rest of the series? Yes, it's holding my attention a lot more. I am literally flying through it. Like, I'm 330 pages in 2 days. That's a lot for me. I'm flying through this book. I don't think I'm gonna finish this today because I have 2 papers I need to write for school, and like another presentation thing, but I'm hoping to get through at least chapter 24. I'm in the middle of chapter 17, and 24 would take us to like page 495, which is like, that's what I'd have left. And I think that's totally doable. I might end up reading this whole thing tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, right now, sitting at a solid 3.5 stars. I have some stuff I need to do before reading, but I will see you for our next reading time-lapse mabob. So it's the next day, the next evening to be precise, and I meant to update you guys this morning about my reading last night, but I forgot I had a presentation due today. So I spent 4 hours making a presentation on salmon. I'm not kidding. Anyways, let's talk about my reading last night, and then we will kind of, I'll explain a little bit about what happened. So last night I did indeed read Fablehaven. I did not read anywhere near as much as I thought I would. Here's a wonderful book. Here's my progress. This is what I have left. I actually read a little bit today, just a couple chapters, and I am now on page 400, which is smack dab in the middle of a chapter, because I stopped to film this because I'm like, oh, forgot to do that. But yeah, we're on page 400 of Fablehaven. It is still sitting at, I think it's a 3.5. I think that's what I said earlier, but that's what it's sitting at now, is a 3.5 stars. Not much to update you on. Like I said, I really only read like 4 chapters. Pretty much the same thing we talked about last time. Now for the other book I read last night. The other book I read was The Sea Raiders by H.G. Wells. I am trying to work ahead in my summer classes so that I can get done earlier, because I have 2 weeks left and I'm trying to get done within the next week and a half, because today is Thursday, so woohoo me. But rather than doing my salmon presentation last night, I read this and wrote a paper on it. So that's why I read this. It was for educational purposes. It was literally, I am not even kidding you, it's a 21-page book. I read this last night and I gave it a 3 stars, so I did not find a 5-star read. Hi, welcome back. Is it still technically the morning of the next day? You pick, it's noon. But I didn't finish Fablehaven. I really tried. I really did, because I wanted to, and I'm in like the middle of all the drama that's going on right now. But I didn't finish it. We're so close. We're so close. And it's like, oh, that's so much. No, it's only 100 pages. And I read 100 pages last night, and it took me like 2 hours, but I was tired. So I'm hoping I can get this done in the next hour and a half, so like 1:30ish. Still sits at a solid 3.5. However, I feel like it has 4-star potential depending on how it ends. I don't know, but I'm gonna go finish this. Now that it's technically Friday and I wanted to finish this yesterday, but let's go finish Fablehaven. Oh! Hello and welcome to the end of the day. I finished Fablehaven Keys to the Demon Prison, and after reading it I rated it a 4 stars, and I still stand by that rating. This book was honestly like better than the majority of the series, but the way they wrapped everything up was very nice. I still believe this book did not need to be 600 pages. It just didn't. I don't think it needed to be. I think it would have been good at even like 3. You know, it could have been cut in half. There was a lot in here that didn't need to be in here, but that's just my personal opinion. But I did start another book today called The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Gaiman? Something. I am one of those people who do not read the backs of books. I think it's cheating. I think it tells me too much about the book. I go simply based off of cover, title, and what I hear about on the internet. This is one that was actually recommended to me by a bookmark. So, like, oh, it's got a pretty cover and there's mermaids on it. I'm gonna read it. I am 30 pages in to a 200-page book, and I don't know what I was expecting going into this. Really didn't have any like thoughts up here, but based off of everything that's happening this weekend, I don't think I'm gonna be talking to you guys again until Monday, just because I have so much going on. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. If I do end up reading like a whole bunch or like something changes, I will definitely update you. Do you remember the last time we talked, I said I would see you Monday morning? It's not Monday morning. It is in fact Wednesday evening. That's dark outside. It's dark outside because it's nighttime. I broke my promise. I'm sorry. But let me show you the books I read. So the first one is the one you all saw already, The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman, however the heck you say his last name. No. Not a 5-star. It is 2.5. I hated it. No, hate is a strong word. I did not hate it. I just largely disliked it. There is like not a lot of clarification in this book, and I need clarification to understand, and I did not understand, and therefore I'm confused. A couple days later, I still don't completely understand the plot or everything that was happening in this book, and I don't think you're supposed to, but it bothers me. You know, I don't think that you were supposed to understand what happens, because nothing's clarified, right? But now I need clarification. It's also not about mermaids. So anyways, moving on from The Ocean at the End of the Lane, we got The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. This book I knew I was going to read in one sitting because any thriller or horror or anything even remotely close to like suspenseful that I pick up, I read in one sitting. I can't not stop myself. I literally genuinely cannot. So I read this in 4 hours. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Paige, 4 hours. You must have loved this book. I did not. This is a 2.75 out of 5. I still did not find a 5-star. This did not live up to my expectations, especially because this was talked about and raved about on TikTok, and I'm like, this is kind of like a basic plot. No offense. I didn't like guess every twist, but I guessed the majority of the twists because it's like laid out in front of you and it's really easy to guess. But this was gonna be a 2-star. And I know what you're thinking, Paige, why is it a 2.75 star? The epilogue. I loved the epilogue, and I know what you're thinking, Paige, the epilogue isn't that like 2 pages? Yes, the epilogue was 2 pages, and I love the epilogue. Now, those are the 2 books I read. Obviously, I did not find a 5-star. I'm actually very disappointed in The Housemaid. I really thought it was gonna be like at least a 4. Like a solid 4. It was not. I have no hope that I am ever going to escape my perpetual doom of, oh, Paige does not like books right now. Paige is like realizing she reads a lot of books and she rates them higher than she should be. But anyway, I digress. Let me show you our next book, which is The Open Boat by Stephen Crane. Stephen? How do people say names? This one is another baby book. It is 53 pages, if I'm remembering correctly. It is literally 49. It's not even 50. It's 49 pages. This book is 49 pages. And this is another book I need to read for school. Finals is next week, and I'm trying to get everything done early. So I will be reading this either tonight or tomorrow morning and then writing 2 papers on it. But I will see you when I'm reading this. I won't ditch you this time. I promise. We will read this one together in a cute little time lapse. Literally little time lapse. I'll see you tomorrow morning probably. Let's be honest. Hello, good morning. It is in fact Thursday morning, and I just finished reading The Open Boat by Stephen Crane, however the heck you say names. I can't do it. Like I thought, since this was completely out of my realm of reading, this is only getting a 2 stars. It was honestly very depressing. But with that, let me pick our next book, because I don't know what I want to read next. For once, I don't know what I want to read. So let me pick out a couple options and then we'll decide together. Okay, I'm back and we have 3 options. The first one is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Like I said, names are not my thing. This is a book I actually bought when I was in middle school. It is a young adult read, but one of my favorite book YouTubers ever is Destiny Sidwell, and she said that this is on her August TBR because there's quotes in it that she's been seeing everywhere, and I don't know what this book is about. Like I said, I go into books blind literally every time. I'm assuming it's about a radio and being alone, maybe. I don't know. This is option number 1. It's a standalone, so maybe. I don't know. Next option is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Barnes! Ah, there's a name I can say. This is the Naturals series, so there's 4 books in the series. There's The Naturals, and then behind me is Killer Instinct, All In, and Bad Blood. This is a series, and I know if I start it, I'm going to read it all within a couple days, because I loved the Inheritance games. I absolutely love the Inheritance games. But I don't know if I want to pick up a series, which is why I'm like, you know, because it's a 4-book series too. That's kind of like it's a bigger series, if you ask me. I think like there's duologies, trilogies, and then series, you know. This is option number 2. And then option number 3 is This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. Do I know what it's about? No. This book I got from TikTok, but it was one of those like, I'm going to read you the first sentence of a book and then you get to read it type of deal, right? And I'll read you the first sentence of this book, so you can see why I'm like, oh, I need to read this. You ready? When my parents asked if I wanted a Mini Cooper for graduation, I didn't think ahead to whether or not it would have enough trunk space to accommodate my cooler full of organs. You see why I need to read it now? So these are my 3. I don't think I'm going to start the series. I really do want to read this series, but I don't think I'm going to start it. Only because these are standalones, and I feel like a standalone is good for me right now, especially because it's finals week. I don't want to get sucked into an entire storyline. So then we have these 2. I really, really do want to read Radio Silence, but I'm not sure if I want to highlight it yet or just take pictures and then highlight the quotes that I like. Because if there's quotes on Pinterest, there's quotes I'm going to like, you know? And then this one just seems like a, what you call it, kind of like a murder mystery type thing. We're gonna read This Delicious Death. Hey, yeah, me 10 seconds later. These chapters are actually kind of long, and I don't want long chapters, so we're gonna be reading Radio Silence. So it is no longer the same week. I don't remember what day we last talked, but it is now Tuesday of the following week. It is the 15th of August. I think we started this kind of at the beginning of August, and I have not actually finished a book. I literally just started Radio Silence last night. Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I'm sorry. I literally started this last night, but I don't know what drugs are in this book, but this is good, okay? And before we talk about it, let me kind of explain why I haven't been reading, because I know I kind of went from like reading 3 books a week to like barely getting through one. Last week was the week before finals week, and I tried to get everything done early. Did not work out. And then kind of last minute, kind of not, like I planned 3 days before, I decided along with my mother that we would be spending the weekend in the park selling crochet cookies and lemonade to raise money for a trip that I'm taking to Ireland next spring with my school. I haven't talked about that yet, and I'm not going to talk any further about it other than just in passing, because I want to make like a whole video dedicated to it. And I spent all weekend at a market. Not really a market, I was literally just in a park, but I was raising money through my crochet, and it went pretty well, but we're doing the same thing again this weekend. So that's just like a little side hustle for you, just to kind of get some idea of how freaking insane I am, because I decided to do that kind of during finals week, like my finals week. So yeah, it is, like I said, the next week, it is Tuesday, and this week is actually finals week, and some of the assignments won't open until the 17th, so Thursday is when I can actually take one of my finals, but everything else I'm trying to get done before then. I actually did work ahead, but I'm still got a little bit left to go, and because of that, I know that I'm probably not going to finish this book tonight, but I want to tell you about it. I wanted to check in with you just because this past week has been crazy for me. This book, I went into it knowing nothing, literally nothing. I'm like, oh, cute's not the right word, YA, right? And then I scanned it into my Goodreads to update my page number, and I think I'm like 30% of the way through now. Maybe a little bit less, 27, 25. And this is by the same person who wrote Heartstopper. And I have not read Heartstopper. I have not seen Heartstopper, but I do, it's kind of something I want to read. I want to watch it, so it's on my radar kind of deal. I didn't know that this was by the same author, and now that I know, and hearing what I know about Heartstopper and that universe or whatever, isn't it called like the Ozerman universe, Ozerverse or something like that? That's what it says on Goodreads. I don't know if that's right. I'm sorry if it's not, but the style is very similar, and I feel like I'm feeling a connection to these characters as I would with Heartstopper. With that being said, I don't know if this is 5 stars yet. It's giving, okay? I like it. I really do like it so far. It's not what I thought it was gonna be at all, literally at all. I adore this book. It's very cute, but it's also very sad, and it's very real. It kind of like perfectly encapsulates the feelings of, I dropped it, I'm sorry, the feelings of going off to college and starting a new chapter in your life. It's very cute. I'm not gonna give anything away because I don't want to be that person, but it's really cute. I would recommend it. I definitely, if it keeps going in the direction that it's going, depending on kind of how the ending is and everything like that, it's at least a 4 star. I love this book. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It's not what I thought it was gonna be, like I said, so it's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but, I like it. I do. I'm also sorry there's no time lapse for this one. I read it at 3 a.m. in the complete dark, and that was not photogenic, literally at all. And I would also like to say that you're probably really confused on where I am in my room because I never film here. Just as a little side note, I'm literally on my floor, and that is because it is 90 degrees in my room, 90 degrees. I think it's more like 82 now because I turned the fan on, but that's why I'm on the floor, is because the fan is so incredibly loud. And it's on the other side of my bed, and I'm trying to make it so that it's not completely drowning out the audio of this. But yeah, that was just a little reading check-in. I will either update you when I finish that book, or I don't know. It'll probably be when I finish the book. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be a couple days though, so I really think it could be a 5 star. I literally just finished Radio Silence. I almost cried. I legit almost cried. Oh my gosh. This book is my fears and my doubts. And I don't know what to rate it. I don't know. I think it's a 5-star. I really do. I truly do. But I also don't know if I'm just saying that because I want this to be the last book I read because it's so good. This is me at 4 a.m. Literally 4 a.m. Just finished this. And I genuinely do not know how I feel. I am gonna go to bed and I'm gonna see you guys in the morning when we will officially sit down with my feelings on this book, because right now I can't. Oh my god. Good morning. I'm running off of approximately an hour of sleep. I shouldn't have pulled in all later. So last night we finished Radio Silence and I am a little bit better about my standing on this now that I've let it like soak in. As much as I want it to be, this book is not 5 stars. The only reason being is that it just didn't have the 5-star feeling. I don't know how to like describe it to you, but a 5-star read for me is one that I literally can't put down. I love every second of it. I'm either crying, laughing, or, you know, having a grand old time. And this book was not that. I did love this book. I loved it. This is a 4.5 star book, which is very, very high, actually. I love this book. I genuinely do. My camera roll is filled with pictures of quotes from it. Like, this is a very, very good read. I'm very happy with this. But with that being said, I'm a little bit mad because I wanted to finish the filming of this video before I leave for my trip in 2 days. And there's literally no way I can because I have crochet stuff I need to film as well. Like, this was supposed to be my last book. Like, I really thought it was gonna be after checking in with you guys. But it's not. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know. I'm bringing a book with me on my vacation, maybe 2, but I don't know what yet. So I'm kind of at like a standstill right now. Like, I'm not sure what I want to do. So we're done with this one though. Very good book. But I'm just very conflicted on what to do in the realm of reading. So because of that, I don't know what to tell you right now. I'm still gonna read. We're still gonna read till I find a 5-star. I just don't know when or what it's gonna be. And because of that, I have no more to say for this clip, and the next clip will be us picking our next book, or me reading on the plane. That's probably what it will be. Very good book. Was not a 5-star for me personally. Hello, good day to you. Today is August 30th. I got home from my trip yesterday. I didn't film me reading at all while I was in where I was on my trip. Because I wasn't really sure what to film. And I really only read on the plane. And I got clips there. I got a singular clip on the plane, but it was the same freaking book. I only read one book, but I read an entire book. Like, start from cover to cover, I read a whole book on my trip. Which, honestly, when I think about it, is pretty good. I brought 3 with me. And I read a 300-page book. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I got home late from my trip last night, so this is everything I've been reading since last week. Thursday. Last week, Thursday. And the book I read was Darlene by Kay Ancrum, I want to say. This was a retelling of Peter Pan, like Peter Pan and Wendy, the Disney film, which was also a book. before the Disney version. I've never personally read the book. I have seen the Disney version. But from like the 2 quotes from the book that were in here, I'm assuming the book, like the original book, is a lot darker than the movie that we see, but that's the case with a lot of Disney things. Yes, retelling of Peter Pan and Wendy. Going into it, I knew it was a retelling. That's literally freaking obviously. It's called Darling, but it was because it was a retelling, I was expecting it to be like, you know, fantasy-esque and fantasy-esque, like with pirates and stuff, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It was not. It was set in modern times with real people, and Captain Hook is a police detective, and then like it's a group of vigilantes, right? And because I thought it was fantasy going in and it was not, I was a little bit disappointed, but I also understood. I liked it. It was good. It also was not that good. I don't like the writing of this book. I don't know. And also the cover doesn't make any fucking sense. I read the whole book and I don't even know what the cover means. Would I recommend it? Sure. I mean, there's probably someone out there who likes this book. Apparently on Goodreads there's a couple hundred people who do, but personally for me it's just not a book for Paige. I did enjoy it though, and for that reason it is getting I'm stuck between 2.5 and 3. It's probably going to end up being a 2.5, but it's not a 5-star, I can tell you that. The entire book took place in one night, which is fine, but like I don't know. That's what I have to say about Darling. Not a 5-star. How many books have we read now? Is that number 6? I've read 6 freaking books. Oh no, and I read Radio Silence. That's book number 7. Oh, that's honestly embarrassing. That's actually kind of cool though. I read 7 books in August, because I started this August 1st, and it's August 30th, so I don't think I'm going to read another one by the end of the month. But I read 7 books in August. It's wild to me. I really only thought I was reading like 2 or 3 books a month. And this was like a normal reading month for me. I guess 2 of them don't count. So I guess I read, because they were like, you know, 50-page school books. But I read 5 books in a month. That was just a little sidebar. But yeah. Another one bites the dust. I'm going to check back in with you when I pick up another book. But it's probably going to be a couple of days. And when we get there, I will let you know. You know what happened. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to see you probably in like 3 days. Today is September 6th. So 6 days after I saw you last? 7? I can't remember. And it's been a week. But do you guys remember when I said that we would see each other when I picked out my next book I was going to read? Yeah, I didn't do that. This video is being posted after the video that I just filmed, which was another reading one. The reading for 10 hours. And I, you know, read. And I chose to update you guys after because it's repeat footage. And I'm not gonna, like, the point of this video and then the point of that video is very vastly different. So, I'm not going to do deep dives into the ratings for these books just because I read them in another video, and if you want to see my ratings on them, you can go and view those in the Reading for 10 Hours video, which is up on my page, and it's probably been up there for about a month at the rate we're going with ratings. But, let's go over the books that I read for that video. The first book I read was This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham, which I gave a 4.5 stars. And then the second book I read was The Obsession by Jessie Q. Sutano. I still can't say her last name, which I gave a 3.5 stars. Wait. No, I flipped them. I'm sorry. This is a 3.5 and this is a 4.5. I literally just filmed that clip and I can't even... Oh, my brain. Also in that video with my 3.5 and my 4.5, we got so close. I had like an hour of time left and I read The One and Only Bob for a while, which I haven't finished. I am a little bit over halfway through, and I don't have a rating on this one yet, but that is what I read. And I actually leave for my trip tomorrow, so I have a feeling we're going to finish this on the plane. But with that being said, I am leaving for a trip, as I just stated, in less than 24 hours. So I'm not going to be doing another
speaky video with you for a while because my vacation is a week and a half. And while I'm there, I'm gonna read a little bit, but it's a very much more family-based vacation, and you know, I'm not gonna be sitting there talking to you guys the whole time. Sorry. So I'm gonna update you after when I get back about what I read on vacation, like I did when I came back from my trip a week ago. August has a lot of trips in it. August/September. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Depending on how everything goes today, we might be able to finish this book tonight. I don't know. Probably not. I'm gonna be honest, I do have quite a bit I need to do. I still need to pack. So yeah, I just want to do a little check-in because I haven't checked in with y'all in a while. But we are now 2 more books in and we still haven't found 5-star. We got really close though. This was a really good book. I will see you when I see you next. Okay, so as you saw in the last clip, those 3 books are the books that I read on vacation / on the plane flights. And similar to how I did the filming... Oh wait, no, because I didn't film for any of these. It's for this video. So sorry. Let's talk about the books. The first one is that I did finish The One and Only Bob. This is the second book from The One and Only Ivan. The One and Only Ivan holds a very, very, very special place in my heart. I will love it until the day that I die. That book will always be 5 stars for me. I love it so much. And because of that, I had very, very high expectations, and I personally do not feel like The One and Only Ivan should have had sequels. But I did read this one, and I did like it, but it was not as good as Ivan, right? There's nothing that can measure up to my, you know, middle school self reading The One and Only Ivan. So The One and Only The One and Only Bob, I'm so sorry, The One and Only Bob by Katherine Applegate got 3.5 stars. I still really enjoyed it. It was a good addition. It just doesn't hit as hard. The second book that I read on my trip was Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. I have it on my iPad. I didn't read it on here. I read it on my physical copy, but my mom is currently reading this book, and she will not let me take it off of her hands because she is that enveloped in it. So I thought I would show you an image, and that would be, you know, close to good enough. With that being said, I went into this book very, very excited. The back of the book was like, it was like a podcast type thing, or not a podcast, like a TV show, and something goes spookily wrong in episode 13, right? And it was good. I liked the start. It was kind of slow, but I'm like, that's fine. It's literally like you're watching / reading a TV show, and you're getting like all this insider information. You get journals, you get audio, you get like EMF readings because it's to do with ghosts and the paranormal, right? You get all of this information, and I loved it. I loved the formatting. I love how it was written. It wasn't chapters. It was like episode whatever, filming at this time, this day. And I'm like, I love you, right? I was so excited. But the ending, oh my God, I cannot express to you how much I hate the ending of this book. Don't get me wrong. Fine. It can end like that. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to be that person. But what the actual heck? It just felt like an out, right? Like there were so many ways it could have gone. There were so many things that could have happened. And it was just like, and I'm like, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. I was expecting like an amazing ending, right? This is like the first like in-depth horror book that I've read, and I will be picking up the genre again because there has to be something better than this. It was terrible. It was terrible. I was so excited. This is a 460-page novel, and I read all of it just to hate the ending. With that being said, this book is a 2 out of 5 stars because I did like the characters, and I did like it until the ending. The last like 150 pages, I just die. So after that book, I kind of needed to reset myself because I was just like, what the actual heck? So I went back to my childhood roots once again and read The One and Only Ruby. This is Following the Elephant, again, like The One and Only Ivan, just the third one. This one is very small compared to the other two, which I'm kind of glad for. This one I didn't enjoy as much as The One and Only Bob, and obviously not as much as The One and Only Ivan, but it was still, you know, it was cute, and I would recommend to read it because it is a very quick read, very cute, loved it, right? So this one also got a 3.5. Similar situation as The One and Only Bob. Good, not great. Those are the 3 books I read on my trip. I am actually because I think this video's coming out after, depending on how this goes. Today I'm starting to film my 6 fall reads, and I'm starting with Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I'm very, very excited for this. I am going to tab it, but like I said, I am reading this book in another video, so I'm not going to be giving you an in-depth rating. If you want anything about this book, how I feel about it, you're going to have to go to that video. It's on my page somewhere. And yeah, with that, I'm going to go read now because I am so sick of episode 13. I need something else. And don't get me wrong, the children books are cute, but I need a good book. I need a good book. We still haven't found a 5-star either, and we're like almost in October. It's been like 2 months. I'm gonna give up. I'm literally going to give up.
Hello and welcome to a completely new space. So, we have not talked in a very, very, very long time. For you, it's been 3 seconds. For me, it's been 2 months. I'm not kidding. The last time we talked, it was the end of September. We went through October, we went through November. It is now the beginning of December. I believe today is December 7th. And let's have just a quick little life recap so that we can get into our books. I do not believe I mentioned this when we last talked. I literally don't remember what we talked about. But my family had to relocate due to a safety reason. And we are now in a new house. Yay! If you want any more information on that, there are TikToks up on my TikTok page, there's stuff up on my Instagram, my Facebook, anything like that. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I'm just not going to go into it because for me, this is happening literally weeks later. Like, this video is not going to be the first one that comes out post-move, post the whole situation, right? And this video is about books, so let's talk about books. Last we talked, I remember this, I was starting to film the fall reads video where I was going to read, I think it's six different books. I read them. We're going to talk about the ratings for those, but I also discovered the Kindle. I got an early Christmas gift of a Kindle, and I discovered I could get the app on my phone. And I read an additional 8 books. 8? Nope, 7. I read 7 other books. None of which are 5 stars. I haven't found my 5-star. We'll start with that, so that no one gets mad at me. But I did not find my 5-star read. Very close on a couple, but not yet. So we are gonna go through these in order of what I read and the rating. I'm not going to talk about any of them. I'm going to talk about a couple of them because I like talking about them. But I'm not going to go into like in-depth detail because I have 15 books to get through. That's 15, right? 14 or 15? I can't do math. So with that, let's start with the end of September where we finished off with Hooked. This one is in the fall reads video and it is a 4.5 out of 5. Next, I read Legends and Lattes. Legends and Lattes was a 4 out of 5. Also in the fall reads book if you're looking for it. Also in the fall reads video if you're looking for it. I apologize. After that, I read The Dead in the Dark. This was a 3.5 or a 3 out of 5. I can't remember exactly what I put, and I didn't put like the 0.5 in my Goodreads, and I didn't put like anything in my Goodreads for this one, so I don't know exactly what I did. It was either a 3 or a 3.5. And then I discovered the Kindle. I read Travis, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read A King of Battle and Blood, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which is right here, that I gave 2.5 out of 5. This one is also in the fall reads video if you're looking for it. Then I read Of Feathers and Thorns, which I gave 4.5 out of 5. What did I read after that? Then I read When Stars Come Out, which I gave a 2.5 out of 5. And then I read Court of Ravens and Ruin, which I gave a 4.5 out of 5. All the Lies, which was a DNF. I read 20% of it and did not like it. I'm like, nothing's happening, so I DNF'd it, which is do not finish if you didn't know. Then I read The Rise, which was a 3 out of 5. Then I read The Risk, which was a 4.5 out of 5. And then finally, I finished The Scape Racers yesterday, which was a 3.5 out of 5. All of these books are the ones that are in the fall reads video if you're looking for them. That video has already been up on my page for 2 weeks now. It is still up there on this platform if you're looking for it, if you want any of my in-depth detail reviews on those. The other 7, Travis, King of Battle and Blood, Of Feathers and Thorns, Court of Ravens and Ruin, All the Lies, The Rise, and The Risk. Those 8 are not going to be in any other videos. Those are just ones I read for fun on the Kindle. I read 8 books on there already. It's insane. But I have not found a 5-star. That's where we are. As far as reading goes, I don't know what we're doing next.
I don't know what I'm reading next. If we're counting the Kindle, I am currently reading The Sweetest Oblivion. I am like 70% of the way through, and I do intend on finishing that today. I've got like 80 pages left. So I think we're gonna finish that. I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star. I like it, but it's very long, and I've just been reading it in between other books, so I didn't like get to stick with the storyline very often. So sorry that it took so long to update, but yes, that's where we're at, and we are gonna go finish The Sweetest Oblivion today. So it is actually 2 days after I finished The Sweetest Oblivion. We can pretend this right here is my book, or, you know, this right here. But I very much enjoyed that book. I know we didn't start it together, but we kind of finished it together. And I liked it. I really, really did. When I finished it, I'm like, God, this is the 5 stars. Like, I was so set. I'm like, this is it. You know, there's nothing I hate about it. I really enjoyed it. It's 5 stars. But then I got to thinking, and I'm like, no, it's not. This is something that happens to me a lot, is that right when I finish a book, I'm like, this is the best book I've ever read. I don't need to read anything else. However, with this one, I don't think it was the best book I've ever read, and I still want to keep reading after I've sat with it for a little bit, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I just get in the mindset of this is the final book, and I'm like, no, it's not. It was very, very good though, and I did enjoy it a lot. So when I was like putting it on my scale of what I wanted it to be, I realized I didn't like it as much as Hooked, which I read a couple months ago, which was a 4.5. So I gave this one a 4. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this book. There's nothing I hated about it. The only thing is that for me personally, like my reading style, it was a little bit long, but I like lose interest after 300 pages. Like, yeah, I got you for 300. The second you hit that 400 mark, I'm out. So that kind of threw me for a curveball, which is weird seeing as I own a lot of very big books. But yeah, I will be reading another book. Right now I'm actually going to read. I don't know what I'm going to read. We can pick a book together. You want to pick a book together? Let's pick a book together. There are a stack of books behind me, but I'm not going to pick from there just because those books are for a video coming out later, and I don't want to read those right now. I have so many books on my Kindle saved, like it's actually ridiculous. I know I don't want to read a thriller. I'm not in the mood for a thriller. I don't really want to pick up a new series right now. Let's see. I'm currently reading The Last List of Mabel Beaumont. I started that one a little bit ago, the one in the middle. I started that one. It was actually really sad. I didn't even realize that when I picked it. Like, I knew it was kind of sad, but I thought it was more mystery sad. And I don't think I want to read that right now because I think this one's a pretty thick book as well. And I'm not really looking for something like that. Oh, it's 300 pages. It's not that bad, but I don't really want to read that right now. The other series that I'm currently reading is the Mindfuck series. I read the first one, The Risk, a couple days ago. So we could read the second one in that or start it. I think we are going to read the second book in the Mindfuck series. It's called Sidetracked by S.T. Abbey. And this is what we're going to read. It's only 115 pages. And I will probably read the whole thing tonight. Oopsies. Yeah. I'm addicted to the series. So I'm going to go read Sidetracked, which is book 2 in the Mindfuck series. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Alrighty, let's go read. Hello. First off, I apologize for the echo. I am currently downstairs where there is no furniture right now, so it's very echoey down here. But let's talk about our book. I finished my book yesterday, which is actually 2 days ago for you. I like zonked out that first night. I read like 50%, and then I read the other 50% yesterday. Very good book. Great, you know, adding to the storyline. I don't really have a lot to say.
because it was just adding to the story. It was only 115 pages, so it was very short. Not much happened, but you can't really expect much from a little book. And because of that, I gave it a 3.5 stars. And that's really all I have to say about it. It wasn't, you know, great, wasn't terrible, just more information. But let's talk about our next reads that we are going to do. And I did say reads plural. Let me cue you in. I don't know if you caught it or not, but the last time we talked, right, you saw a couple books in the background. It would be these four right here: Fire Becomes Her, The Scratch Daughters, The Paris Apartment, and Misrule. These four are actually for a video. I briefly mentioned that. But these are the four that I am now going to be reading over the next couple of days. I think like the next week or so. I'm hoping to finish Misrule today. The Paris Apartment is in 2 days, and then 2 days later is this one, and then 2 days later is that one. So that's the goal. We'll see what happens. I don't actually know if I'll get through all of these. This is what I'm going to work on, and I'm not going to film any of this because this is, again, for another video, which I don't know the title of. We'll talk about where these four ended up later. But these are the four I'm going to go read, and I will update you after I have read all of these books. I'm going to go read now. I'll see you in like a week. Hello. Let's chat. I did not think I was going to be meeting with you guys so soon. The last that y'all know, about a week ago, I told you I was going to go read those four books for a video, a different video from this one, and that I would check back in with you after I did that, right? I'm in the middle of that. Let's talk. So, starting from when you and I left each other, I have read 3 books. I was a cheater. I read the 3rd book in the Mindfuck series because I needed to know what happened. It is Scarlet Angel, and I believe I gave that one a 4 out of 5. After that, I read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, which I gave a 2, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what it was, either a 2 or a 2.5. I think I gave this one a 2. Didn't like it. And then after that, I read, or I should say, I attempted to read Misrule. I ended up DNFing this book. This is one that I have had sitting on my shelves forever, halfway read, and I can't do it anymore. So I DNF'd this, and then we started the book we're going to talk about. So this book does not even have the dust jacket on it right now, because I am in the middle of reading it, but it is Fire Becomes Her by Rosie Thor. And I don't even know where to start with talking with this book, because I don't know how much I'm going to tell you versus how much I want you to learn from the other video where I read this book. But I think it's fair enough that I tell y'all everything, just because right now, I think it might be a 5-star read. I really do, which I'm a little bit heartbroken by because we didn't start it together. But I will link the video down below that this book is in if you're curious on my beginning thoughts about this book. But let's debrief a little bit. This book follows a main character whose name is Ingrid, and she lives in this world that is currently going through like a political campaign for a new president, right? And she is smack dab in the middle of it. The way that the book is written and the words that this author uses is so incredibly empowering, and the way that this author talks about magic, right? There's magic in this book, and she talks about magic as a currency, as like in our world would be money, and how she depicts what having so much magic can do to a person, and the differences between rich and poor, and how the rich get richer and the poor are struggling just to, you know, be. It speaks to my soul. I never saw myself to be a political girly. I was like, politics are not for me, I don't want to get involved. But I think it's not even so much that I don't want to get involved, it's so much that I understand like what's happening in this book. Like, I get it. Like, I've had some of the same thoughts. Like, our main character is 17, the same age as me, and she has come from nothing and is now almost at like the top of the freaking pyramid, right? And it's stated blatantly in the book, she's only doing it so that she is respected, has money, has power, and feels like she is somebody with a purpose, right? That is why she wants to be, she doesn't even want to be rich necessarily, she just wants to be somebody, right? And I think that is just so incredibly like, you know, like I can't even explain it. This might just be like I feel such a personal connection to this book and the messages that are in this book that it's a 5-star read for me, but I don't know. And I haven't given it a read. I haven't even finished the book. I have like 150 pages left. But I can't even I can't even begin to explain how much I love it. And it has queer representation too. Like I didn't even know. And now I am not going to take you with me for a time lapse of me finishing this book, just because that is going to stay content for the other video. I feel like that's only fair to both the audience of that one and this one if you don't happen to watch both. But I will show you my reaction once I finish this book, like my raw reaction, and then we will be debriefing about this, because if this one's not a 5, it's gonna be right up there. And I feel only fair that we talk about this, because I don't know what I'm going to rate it till I'm at the end and I finish, and I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity if this is a 5-star, since we've been looking for one since August and it's December. Like I feel like yeah. Hi. It is the next morning, and I told you we would do a debrief. So let's talk. You didn't get to see the dust jacket before, so here is the dust jacket. It is absolutely beautiful. Wow. I can't even like process things right now. I loved it. I can't even like. I genuinely loved it. In the last 150 pages, there was, I'm gonna call it a plot twist, and I do this for a reason, but there was a plot twist in the book. So I don't think I talked to you about like a really big element in this book, and I don't want to say anything just in case you are thinking of reading it, because I feel like if you find it out on your own, it's very important. But with that certain element, we got the plot twist of like who was behind it and everything, and the second I went into the book, I knew when that was introduced, like page 100, right? I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I don't even care. Like at a certain point, I was not reading this book for the plot or what was happening. Don't get me wrong, it was very, very good. But just the way the author uses her words, how the characters interacted, like the main characters we were around, how just there were so many like parts of this book where I'm like, I want to highlight this if I had my highlighters, right? Like I just felt so, I guess attached is the right word, because I loved this book. I did. I have been debating what I'm going to rate this for a very long time, like 2 hours of me being awake, and I genuinely think for me this is going to be a 5-star read, but it's not for the plot, right? I'm sure it's been seen before in another book. I'm sure the way the magic is used has been seen in another book. I just haven't read it, and that to me was really interesting. But the way the author uses her words and the way that the characters interacted, and there's so much queer representation in this book, and not even just like, oh, lesbian. No, it's like so much more in depth and about how loving people can be more than just like romantic attraction. And I'm pretty sure this is a young adult book. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It doesn't say anything. It's published by Scholastic though. Doesn't that typically mean it's a kid book? I don't know. But this book is a 5-star read because of what it did to my soul and how it made me feel. It's incredibly it feels very personal, you know? Like, when I look back on this book, am I going to say to people, oh my god, you need to read it, it's the best book I've ever read? No, but I'm going to tell them, it's not the best book I've ever read. I've probably seen the plot before, you've probably seen that plot before, but the deeper subjects that are talked about made the book for me. Like, that is genuinely what did. I found a 5-star read. I don't even know what to do with myself now. But yeah, that means we have reached the end of our time together in this video, which is absolutely bonkers crazy to me. Before I do leave you, I have a couple of things that I do want to say, so please stick around because these are very important if you want to see more book content from me, because I am changing things with the come of the new year. So as many of you know, this is my business channel, or what I do art on, and recently over the past year I've been doing like vlogs on here sometimes, and I've been doing reading videos because that's other content that I want to make, but I realized that's not the content I should be putting forward business wise, just because it doesn't align with what my art is, right? Like, my art is crochet, my art is not, you know, books or redoing my closet, going through my clothes, anything like that. So because of that, I have changed it around a little bit with the new year. Everything that I talk about will be linked down in the description of this video and every video in the future. I will not be talking about the other platforms on here very often, unless somebody asks in the comments, then we will talk. But I have made 2 new platforms, so let me kind of explain those to you. This one, Sawyer's Wacky Art, is going to stay just my business where we crochet, do arts and crafts stuff, and everything like that. Very targeted towards what it's supposed to be targeted towards, business-wise, and it'll be a lot of, like, I guess professionalism, except I'm really not professional with my video making at all, because I think it's more fun to talk like we're best friends. So there's that. The other channel that I made for reading is called Flipping Pages, as in like Flipping Page. I thought it was good. If y'all don't know, my name is Paige. It is not Sawyer. Flipping Pages is going to be strictly reading content. On there, I will upload a YouTube video every single Wednesday, and then a TikTok on Tuesday and Thursday. If you're looking for more book content right now, there are a couple still up on my page. I'm not going to take them down. I'm not going to remove them. It doesn't make sense to me because that's what I uploaded at the time. The other Flipping Pages has already had a video, actually. It came out 3 days ago, of me reading the last couple of books on my 2023 TBR, physical TBR, which is actually where these couple of books came from. I have a couple more on there as well. So if you're looking for my beginning thoughts on Fire Becomes Her, they're going to be on that channel from here on out. I personally feel a lot of pressure to keep everything on Sawyer's Wacky Art very professional, and then the other platform that I'm running right now, not the 2 we're talking about, is more set towards gaming and a series that's called the Daily Reason to Live series, which is just like really sentimental to me, so it doesn't feel right to bring that stuff into there. So now I have spread it out over 4 beautiful platforms that are all me. Adding to the vlog thingy, like the Pages Void, that does not have a posting schedule at all. That is just when I want to do it, when I feel like doing it, and going from there. Same with the TikTok for that. It's never going to be, I'm going to post every Saturday, every Thursday. It's just not. Having 3 a week is enough for me to do right now. And I would love to do, you know, I'm not saying I'm never gonna do vlogs, but it's like, it's a shit post, right? Like, it's not making or breaking if I don't post. That's the mindset I'm trying to get into. But yes, those are all of the social media changes that we are going to be talking about now, and if anything changes, I will let y'all know, but I don't think that it will. This is probably going to be my setup for the rest of the time I create content. Now, one quick little thing before I go. I do want to talk about this video just a little bit because we've been together for 6 months. If you're like me and you're a statistics girly, I'm going to put all the stats here. How many books I read, the average rating of all of those books, the first book we started with and the rating of that, and then the book we ended with and the rating of that, along with the day we started and the day we ended this, because I'm a stats girly. I like to know this stuff. It's really interesting to me. So, finally, after all this blabbering, thank you guys so much for coming with me today over the past 6 months of my life as I read books. I did not think it was going to take this long. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for book content, and I will see you on here from here on out for crochet and arts and crafts things. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.